All right, you're welcome once again to our lessons today. Is GreatMinds Pro Tutors. I believe you have seen our previous lessons on Excel functions. We are still in a series of Excel functions. We have covered, we've already released lessons on text functions, numeric functions, logical functions, and get those videos on our channel, and you will see the usefulness of it. So today we are going to look at a very important lesson called lookup functions. Lookup functions. We will understand what lookup functions is today. Lookup function is a very another set of important functions in Excel, and lookup functions are actually used to search for values and retrieve values that are related to other values that are already present. All right. Think of lookup functions are functions that you use to search for something. All right, to search for something using a key. So in our lesson today, we'll be applying. So in our lesson today, we'll be applying these 6 important functions in Excel. Very powerful functions: VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, lookup itself, index function, match, and HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP, that's if you have if the Excel version supports HLOOKUP. If it doesn't, you will use Google Worksheet to implement it. Is that okay? Now we have this big data set. Look at this as a database. Look at this data set here as a database, and then we want to retrieve information from that database. We want to fill this information, right, about these various orders from that database. The way it is arranged, you can see this is arranged vertically. All right, this other one, this other side. Okay, when we get to it, we can see another way we have arranged it horizontally. So since it's arranged vertically, we can apply VLOOKUP on that. Or we can use VLOOKUP to fill those columns, the order date, the region, the salesperson, the product category. All of that will be done using the order ID. We will not need unit price. Let's remove unit price. Unit price is not relevant for this one. Let's do that. Is that okay? Now let's apply VLOOKUP. How do you use VLOOKUP? Meanwhile, V in VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. What that implies is use a key from a row of a column, from a row of a different column to search for something on that same row of another column. For instance, I want to look for the order date of this order ID. You see, order date is in a different column, while order ID is in a different column. But I am looking for this particular order ID. What was the order date? Since we arrange it this way, a suitable function to apply that is the VLOOKUP. And this is the syntax for VLOOKUP. You have VLOOKUP. You provide the lookup value. That is the key. Lookup value is same as the key, the search key. So you provide the table array. Table array is the search space, the area for which you are using to search. The next is the column index number. That means what position represents the column you are looking for in the search space. And then we have what we call it. We have range lookup. Is an optional parameter. Is that okay? It's an optional parameter. If you don't provide it, Excel will do default for you, and default is approximate match. But we always like to do exact match so that we get exactly what we want. Is that okay? So this is the syntax: lookup value, table array number, table array, column index number, then the range lookup. These are the syntax. Those 4 things are essential to apply VLOOKUP. Now, in our example, if we're using order ID to search, order ID is our lookup value. Each of these order ID is a lookup value. Now, our table array for VLOOKUP and for HLOOKUP as well, you must start from the first column to select must be the very column that contains your lookup value. In this case, the order ID. You must start from there. If you don't start from there, you have a reference error and a value error. So you must start from there. All right. So If we start from here and then say we select from here to this point, this is called our table array. If you select to the end of the data, this is also called our table array. So you have liberty to select as much as you want or as little as you want. But key thing you must do is that your selection must start from a lookup value column, and then it must include the column that contains what you are searching for. Alright, every other thing can be very flexible. Alright, so we have VLOOKUP. We want to get the order date of these various orders. VLOOKUP, we have taken order ID from this sheet as our lookup value. So we go to this order data set, the raw data now. Alright, we pick the order ID as the beginning point of our table array. Use colon if you don't want to select. Use colon and pick the last column you want to reference, and I'm starting from order ID to stop on products. Is that okay? You may decide to stop exactly on order date or region or wherever. Is that okay? Now I'm looking for order date. So order date is number 2. I started from order ID, which is 1. Order date is the second column, so I put 2 there. Then if I want exact match, I put 0. If I want approximate match, I put 1. So but I told you we should do exact match. Say the stand or false. Is that okay now? Alright, so those are the order dates of these various order IDs. Alright, very quickly. The next thing we get is the region. Still again with VLOOKUP. You still use the order ID again as the lookup value. Why do we use order ID? Because we notice that order ID here is unique. It doesn't have duplicates. So since it is unique, we are sure that our result will be very accurate and correct. Is that okay? So order ID is the lookup value. We go back again to original data. Right? From there we pick our table array again. Table array, I told you, is the search space. The space that contains what you are searching for. From order ID again, I am extending now. Let me go get up to what is it called? Discount percent. I've told you already, it's not compulsory you get up to that profit. Alright? And then what are we looking for? Region. Region is number 3. Order ID 1, order date 2, region is number 3. So you put 3 and then you put 0. Remember that my data is formatted as a table. So you like to do that so that you have seamless result as an added. If yours is a range, you have to select a range of values. Is that okay? So those are the regions. The next is the sales person. VLOOKUP again. I can as well, if not that my data is in table, I could as well do I could as well extend the functions and just change the column index number respectively. But let us keep enjoying our structured formula, structured reference. So pick up again from here up to wherever you like to stop. We're looking for salesperson. I've decided to just stop here. Alright, salesperson is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After region is salesperson, that's number 4. And then exact match again. Alright, we get it. Then the next guy is the product category. Product category. Order ID is still our reference key. Alright, we're still starting from the order ID of the previous column, previous data. Remember, that is because our lookup value is the order ID. Alright, we are looking for product category. Now I'm just starting exactly on the product category. Okay, starting exactly on the product category. Okay, product category is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's number 5 for that, and that's the last column in our selection. The last column and number 5th column of our selection. So there's a mistake somewhere there. Let's check. Okay, this is supposed to be colon, not comma. Alright, so we have our results. We have our results there. Then the next is product. VLOOKUP still. VLOOKUP, we use this as our lookup value. Then we have this as the beginning of the table array, and then maybe up to unit price as the base people. Alright, product is number what? order ID 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's number 6. Alright, and then 0 again for exact match again. We have those results. Great. Now you, as you're practicing this lesson now, I want you to just apply what you have learned so far. If you have this data set exactly, fill up the units and the discount percent. I will do the sales amount now. Fill up the units and the discount percent. Let me do sales amount. Is that okay? Let me know if you have any challenge on the comment section. As you use this video, if you have any challenge, write it on the comment section. I will look at it, I will see it, and then I will treat it for you. So VLOOKUP still is what I'm using again. Alright, and then I am doing the lookup value, move straight to the data, up to where, of course, our sales amount is the very last column in the data, so we don't have any option than to include it. Alright, what's the column number there? Sales amount is number, order ID is, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's column number 10. Alright, then we put 0. Beautiful. Everything is calculated. Everything is calculated. That's the beauty of the lookup. Imagine if you were to look at the table over there and then writing these things one after the other. You see how tedious it could be. Okay, that's the lookup for you. Practice it consistently. I advise. Alright, the next function we are going to look at is HLOOKUP. Be aware that VLOOKUP actually have limitations. The limitation is that if I should insert a new column in this table here, if I should insert a new column, yeah. If I should insert a new column, see what happened to my result. My result is no longer correct. Region has been altered. Region is no longer correct. My sales amount is not also correct. Things have shifted. So that is a challenge with VLOOKUP. Alright? That is a challenge with VLOOKUP. So I am undoing it and my result is back. Is that okay? Notice that. Notice there is a challenge with VLOOKUP. When you add a new column, it alters the result. Now the next guy we're looking at quickly is HLOOKUP. H in HLOOKUP means horizontal lookup. V in VLOOKUP was for vertical lookup. So for that, data was arranged vertically. So for HLOOKUP, we have to arrange data what? Horizontally. You understand? We have to arrange data horizontally before we can apply HLOOKUP. So what do? Copy this data from here. Copy a section of the data from. Maybe let me just pick about 20 rows and take just 20 rows. Alright, I'll paste it. Here. Then I have to transform it horizontally, transpose it rather. Transpose. That's not transpose. This is transpose. Transpose means let the column turn to row and the row will turn to column. If you did matrix, you remember that in mathematics. Okay, these columns that are not showing, you expand them. What it means that the values are larger than the cell size. Expand them. Is that okay? Expand, let them show. Expand, let them show. Alright. Another good thing we should do is to make things look well, look fine, look nice. So let us make things to be center aligned. Let those text be center. Alright. Okay, so these are various data now. These are the data. This is the data. Okay. So we're going to use this small size of data, this small sample of this data to practice HLOOKUP. Now in HLOOKUP, just like in VLOOKUP, the row number, the row that contains your lookup value must be the top row. Alright? The row that contains your lookup value must be the top row, while any other thing follows. Is that okay? And then when you are selecting also, you must start from the row that contains a lookup value. So we have HLOOKUP, like I've told you, the same procedure with VLOOKUP. We provide VLOOKUP. That's why we provide lookup value, not VLOOKUP. Lookup value, we provide your table array just as we had for VLOOKUP. Now you have row index number. That's the major difference. Row index number. What row are you searching for? And then you have range lookup. It's also optional again, just as we had initially. Range lookup. All right. Yeah, I'm not expecting result because that's not the reference. This is just a syntax how to do it. Is that okay? How to do it. That's the syntax how to have it done. So let us apply the same way we use other ID to find to retrieve information. Let us do the same thing again. Is that okay? Let's do it again. Paste this here. Okay. And let's use other ID. I'm picking other ID from there. I'm picking other ID. Paste here. Beautiful. So I can now proceed. So first we say what was the order date of HLOOKUP. The same thing we did with VLOOKUP, so what to repeat with HLOOKUP. So this is just depending on how your data is arranged. Alright. HLOOKUP, what are we talking about? First is lookup value, the same order ID. Alright. Followed by the table array. The table array starts from here. Table array starts from the order ID. Is that okay? You can, once you have included the table, the lookup value, you can stop anywhere. I can stop just here. I can stop anywhere. Is that okay? I can stop anywhere. So I just want to stop anywhere. I can stop, provided I have included the lookup value. Now the next question is, what is the row index number? I'm looking for order date. Alright, so from this selection, you see order ID is the first row and order date is the second row. So I put 2. Alright, then up exact matching date, I'll have my result. Okay, let me format this row as dates, as short date. So this row, I will format it as date. It is currently seeing something like, let me format it as date before we go progress. Format it as short date. Alright, simple. So we've gotten our result. So if we want, since we extended from B7, B17, B3 up to J10, we can expand it and we are expected to have the correct result for others. We have correct results for others. Is that okay? That is it. That's the same way we had initially. Then the next guy is the region. HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP. What do we start from? The other ID still, we have that's our lookup value. Alright. Table array. You select, make sure region is covered. Make sure region is covered. So I have selected region is number 3 because date is number 2. Alright. So I put 0 again. Simple. We also extend it to cover for others. This one we can extend it further. Let it cover everything we got. So for all the 20 records, we are extending it and it is covering for them. That is HLOOKUP. Then let's use the HLOOKUP to fill the cell spacing. To fill up the cell spacing. So HLOOKUP, other ID still, see I'm picking just the same way we did for VLOOKUP. I'm picking the VLOOKUP, the lookup value from my reference here, and then I am picking up to this point. What am I looking for? Cell spacing is row number 4, and then 0. So I have grace there, as we saw earlier. Alright. Don't say, since I'm looking at it, why am I still doing it? Data could be arranged like this in a database or arranged like this somewhere. Alright, so we are just behave as if you are not seeing this selection. You understand the point? All right. So product category, HLOOKUP, lookup value as the other ID. Then I selected the entire table. Then product 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's number 5 and 0. Got it? Stationary. Fill it out. Everybody is fine. Okay. What do we have again? Products. We use other ID. Then the table array. And then product is number 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 0. Good. Let's go again. Oh, add number 6. Product. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, that should be 7. 7. Rather. 7. Let's go again. Something is wrong. Oh, I used product function instead of HLOOKUP. Sorry about that. HLOOKUP. Alright. Everything is fine. HLOOKUP product is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is number 6, please. Number 6. 6. Alright, notebook. That's it. So extend it for others. You have the result. See, we have NA here. That means not available, not found. Alright. We can now, we learned if error the other day, so we can even include if NA. Alright, that is a correct time to use if NA. If NA we have not found, so that for a case situation like that, we can have not found. That is why I told you to look at our initial lesson on logical function. That's what we treated if NA. We have put not found here instead of the NA value result. Is that okay? Alright. Once again, use HLOOKUP, fill up the units and the unit price, and of course this let me fill up the sales amount. So HLOOKUP, we still have this as the lookup value. We select again. Row number what is that? Obviously row number 10 because we are calling number 10. Alright. So correct. So that's it. Move the values. I should include not found. I should include if NA. If NA, yeah, then I put not found. If NA, no. If NA, let me put 0. If NA will not find be better than 0, like 0 should be better, so that it will be able to, in case we needed to do calculation here. If NA is 0, so okay, so that means nothing was found. So all those places where nothing was found, that's 0. Is that okay? I'm just doing that to remind you of how to use the if NA function. So you are filling the remaining part, the 3 rows that are left blank. Fill them as exercise. If you have a challenge achieving that, write your challenge on the comment section, and I'll be right there to assist you. So the next function we look at quickly is lookup function itself. Lookup function. So the lookup function is what I want to talk about. The lookup function is one of the oldest reference functions in Excel. As Excel versions have, as we have new releases of Microsoft Office, we also have new better functions that handle the challenges of lookup. Is that okay? But then, just for lessons and training and for knowledge purposes, because I believe your Excel probably have HLOOKUP. So if you have HLOOKUP, you don't need to do lookup. Is that okay? So learn it, and you may use it because it's not everybody that have a higher version of Microsoft Office. So the lookup function is used to retrieve a column, to retrieve value from a column that's related to another column, just like all the other functions. But something is important about lookup function, this particular one. Your data must be sorted in ascending order. Alright? The range lookup, the lookup value, the column that contains the range lookup must be sorted in ascending order before you can have correct result. Is that okay? So for the lookup, you can also use, of course, you arrange it this way, all right? Now, this column, this data is sorted in ascending order, but let's not just assume, let us sort it. Ascending order means A to Z, all right? That is what we have. So it is sorted, we are sure. So we can now do lookup comfortably. Is it okay? We can now do lookup comfortably. Let me copy this data again and then paste it in a new sheet. I want to call it lookup. Let me paste. I didn't copy it again. Paste it there. Good. So I still have a table and it is still sorted in ascending order. So with this now, I can apply lookup. I want to clear this part. Alright, we do it again. What we have done before with VLOOKUP is what we want to do. So just observe the difference between lookup and VLOOKUP. I want to clear it and then let's do it again. So we'll use lookup now to apply it. This is how lookup works. Lookup, you see the name there, lookup. Then you have the lookup value as we had earlier. You have the lookup vector. Lookup vector is like a column that contains the lookup value, just one. And then we have a result vector. Of course, it's optional, but you provide a lookup a result vector. Right? We have that. And then those three, let's see that. Lookup, we have lookup value. Now, the lookup vector will come from this other table. The lookup vector from there. Is that okay? And then result vector, what are we looking at there? We are looking at other dates. Simple. Looking at other dates. That is it. You don't need to specify the order for which you want them for. Lookup value, lookup vector, and result vector. We have lookup again. This is still our lookup value, and our lookup vector is the other date of this other guy. Alright, and then our result vector is the region column vector. That's our result vector. Simple. You click again. You have it correctly. The next person is the sales person. Lookup. You have the lookup value. You go to the raw data, you pick the lookup vector, alright, then you click, you select the result vector, you close the bracket again. Simple. Okay? Like usual, let me do units, then you do the other ones. Lookup value, lookup vector, then result vector. What am I? I think that was in result vector. Correct. Alright? So that is it. That is how to use the lookup function itself. I've renamed the initial worksheet where we did a VLOOKUP. We then need to VLOOKUP since we are doing all the functions in different worksheets. Is that okay? Now, the next function we look at quickly is the index function. So the index function is actually a function that is used to search for a value that is specified, a value that is located in a specified position in a range of data. Is that okay? You want to look for what is here, alright? You use the index function to achieve that. So let's quickly do index. Can I do that here? Okay, let me just. It's a very simple function. Let's apply it here. So index. Let me see positions. All right, let me apply it here. For the first one, we have index. You need to provide the array, that is the columns that contain the information. Excuse me. All right, the array. The next thing is row index number. For instance, I'm looking for order number, value number 3. What is in row 3? In other words, something like this. All right, what is in row 3? And then if I don't provide any other column, I can just stop there. Hold on. All right, so the index, I want to get the positions of these various orders. Now I have a index, and I want to find the positions of these various values. As simple as that. So let me say number 3. What I mean is, what is the order ID? What is the third order ID in this data? What is the third order ID? Tells me is what? Order ID 003. 003. That is it here. 4. The data on row 4 is the one. Is the order ID in the third position as specified. Is that okay? That is how to use the index function. If I'm looking for in the salesperson's name, if I'm looking for who is the 5th salesperson, who is the 5th salesperson, 5th salesperson, who is the salesperson on row number 5. All right, I'll have Samuel, salesperson on row number 5, Samuel. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is Samuel there. All right, and I would say it should be sorted also. It should be sorted. That's what the index function does. The next guy quickly is the match function. Why the index function tells us what is where, match function tells us where is what. It tells us the position of a value. Index tells us the value in a particular position. Why match tells us the position of a value we provide. For instance, if I have match, you need to provide a lookup value. Is that okay? You need to provide a lookup value. Let's say for salesperson, let's use the salesperson's name, and then I am looking for lookup array. Lookup value I should provide. I'm searching for Samuel, for instance. So I have to type Samuel, and the lookup array is the salesperson. So I'm asking Excel, where is Samuel? Where is Samuel in the data set? Where is Samuel in this record? All right. Then the lookup type, we have exact match again, 0, 0. That is it. So it tells me that Samuel is on row number 5. That Samuel is the salesperson number 5, just like we saw earlier. Samuel is salesperson number 5. It tells me the position where Samuel is found. Why index tells me who is on row 5. All right. So if I have index, as we have done earlier, index of salesperson, index of the salesperson. I use index and I'm referencing salesperson. I'm looking for 5. All right, it tells me Samuel. Is that okay? Now I was just selecting one column. We can of course also select multiple columns with index. We can select multiple columns with the index function, and then we will get results for the particular column we are talking about. If I'm picking order ID, is it okay? If my index is if my index involves multiple columns like this, if my index involves multiple columns like this, and then multiple columns like this, let's say up to salesperson, salesperson, multiple columns up to salesperson, and then I am looking for who is on column 5, that's in the salesperson. 1, 2, 3, salesperson number 4. That means I'm looking for the fifth name or the fifth salesperson in this, the fifth salesperson. So this will give me Samuel. However, if I'm looking for somebody in column, if I'm looking for the region of that selection, I'll put 3 there to tell me the region. So you can of course use it for multiple. Is that okay? Now, what are we learning is what of learning is that we can combine the max function and the index function to achieve. Okay? We can combine the max function and the index function to achieve VLOOKUP. And by that, we'll be able to overcome the limitations of VLOOKUP. We saw earlier that in VLOOKUP, when you introduce a new column in your range, you miss your result. But when you use match and index and match, even when that happens, even if you introduce new columns, you will not have a problem. So I'm going to get a new worksheet, call it index plus match, and the essence is for us to be able to use it for VLOOKUP. So what will I do? The same thing we did with VLOOKUP. Let's get data from here. Get data from here. Put it here. Alright, wipe this content. What we did initially with VLOOKUP, we'll do it again. This can allow you to do both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, of course. Alright, so we're going to use index plus match to achieve a VLOOKUP. Remember, VLOOKUP needed a lookup value, a table array, a column index number, and of course a range lookup, a lookup type, a range lookup. Now, we start with index. Remember, index is going to tell us the guy that is somewhere, while match is going to tell us where something is, right? Index of all right, so quickly, like I've told you, if you combine when you combine the index and match function, you will achieve VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP or any lookup. All right, and if for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, it will overcome the limitations that those ones have. So how to use it is you have index, you have to provide the return array, in this case now, for what you want to display. Then you have the match function, you put a lookup value, you put a lookup array, and the match type. These are the two things that are required to achieve VLOOKUP. Is that okay? I think I should copy this and keep it somewhere for you to see. Let me copy it and keep it somewhere for you to see. So this is it here. That's how to use. This is the syntax. Index, return array, match. You start the match function. Match, lookup value, lookup array, and the match type. You close 2 brackets for it. So let's go. For our example here, we want to use the index and match function to retrieve what we call now the various information. We are on order date now. So we have index, we go out to the raw table and we click order date. Is that okay? Then the next thing we do is match. The next we want to provide here is order ID, because we're using the order ID. All right, and then our lookup value, our lookup array is the order ID of the raw data. The order ID of the raw data, that's our lookup array. All right, this is just one column we are selecting. So we have match type 0. That's all. We click bracket twice. Let's say our formula what we wrote. Now we had a challenge somewhere. match. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me just click match. Click on this particular asset. Click on this row. Yeah, that should fix it. Okay, so let's continue to get the order date index. All right, so we're using order date. Pick order date from here. Order date. Remove the headers. Comma. Then we have used the match. Go back to the other worksheets. This is the lookup value we are using. This is the lookup value. The lookup value. The first row should be the lookup value. Then we have the lookup array. Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. That's the lookup array. Then we're talking about the match type, exact. That's the result. So that gives us the VLOOKUP equivalent of that's the index plus match equivalent of VLOOKUP. Let's use it again to get the sales amount. Index, what I'm looking for, we want to display sales amount. So what we do in the raw data, we click on the sales amount column because that's what we are looking for. Click on the sales amount column. Is that okay? The sales amount, correct? Then, comma, match function. The match function, the lookup value is for this particular ID. Remember, we have trusted what do you call it? Order ID because it is unique. That's why we are using it. All right. This is the lookup value. Then return to raw data and pick the order ID as the lookup array. Order ID as the lookup array. Exact match 0. As simple as that. Let's get again for salesperson, and then you fill the balance. You do the balance. Index, salesperson, what you want to display. So click on the salesperson column. The salesperson column, click there. Then we have match, return to original, the worksheet we are working on. That's index plus match worksheet. You select the lookup value, which is the order ID, and then the lookup array again is the order ID entire column. The entire column. Alright, comma 0 for exact match. Close bracket twice. That is it. Alright, so this is all done now to combine the index function, the match function, the VLOOKUP, the HLOOKUP, and of course the lookup itself. We have achieved all of that. Here we did lookup. Remember, we had to sort the lookup range, the lookup range first. All right, the range that contains the lookup, we have to sort it in a data set before we now do lookup. See what we did? You had the lookup vector, the lookup value, the lookup vector, and the return vector. We did VLOOKUP, where we also had to arrange our data vertically before we apply the formula. And then remember the syntax, of course. VLOOKUP, lookup value, the table array, the column index number, and of course the match ID, the range lookup. nothing is here. We have the HLOOKUP as well, where we have to arrange the data first in horizontal order, and then this is the syntax there: lookup value, double array, row index number, and then the range lookup. Is that okay? So these are all very helpful when you have a data set you need to retrieve information from. All right, maybe you don't have access to that data set, you just want to use references from that data set to get new information in the place or the data set you have access to, you want to work with. That is how you can use the lookup functions. All right, look out to our next lesson. Our next lesson that will be published on this platform will be our next lesson. So our next lesson will be on what if analysis, what we call sensitivity analysis. Look out to that lesson. Meanwhile, if you have not seen our previous lessons, like I told you earlier, do well to get the previous lessons from our channel. They are all treated topic by topic, so that you have maximum knowledge and all of that. And anytime you have a challenge, don't hesitate to reach out to us on our channel, maybe via the comment section or even via our email, all right, or via our phone contact. Our phone contact is +234 8060 423169, +234 8060 423169. See you. Thank you for staying on this lesson. Meet you again in our next lesson. Thank you.